Hello everyone, welcome to Pronounce It with Eleuteria. Today we are going to have a very short and practical session on phonetic transcription. Allow me to tell you that this is my favorite lesson regarding phonetics. So when it comes to phonetic transcription, it is literally representing all the sounds that we find in a word, the consonant sounds and the vowel sounds. So if you don't remember about the vowel sounds or the consonant sounds, please go back to the videos and see how do we represent in terms of phonetics. How are they phonetically represented in English? So please watch the videos that are available on the channel on vowel sounds and the consonant sounds. So for today's session, we have here a set of words chosen by a known friend of mine that suggested these words so that we can practice phonetic transcription. I promise you that this is going to be both challenging but interesting at the same time. It is not easy at first, of course, but if you practice, you will get there. So we have here the words. And something I would like to warn you about when it comes to phonetic transcription is that you don't focus on how the word is written, because we are talking about pronunciation, talking about sounds. So it may not have a direct match between the sound itself and the letters that we find in this word, which means if I am to transcribe the word surround, it doesn't mean that necessarily it's going to be written, for example, if we are going to find the U or the Ra or the Na or Da sound, it's not certain that we are going to find all of these elements that we have written there in the phonetic transcription. Phonetic transcription is about sounds or pronunciation. So let's start practicing phonetic transcription. When it comes to phonetic transcription, we have to pronounce the word as many times as necessary until we identify each one of the sounds that belong to that word. The first thing we do before transcribe is drawing the slash first, because it has to be among or within slashes. So we have the slash here. So let's start pronouncing the word surround. 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 So what sounds can we identify there? First, the fricative consonant. Remember fricatives lesson about in the lesson about consonant sounds? Yes, we have the fricative S, and then we find remember what is that sound? Sure, it's the schwa vowel. And then ra, surround. So we have the ra sound. And after that, we have an ound. So we have to split them. Ow is what? Is the diphthong. Ow, remember? If you don't remember about diphthongs, please go back to the lesson on vowel sounds. So you will see there the diphthongs. What are diphthongs and the different types of diphthongs that we have in English. So we have identified sa, schwa, ra, and ow. What is missing? Na and da, surround. So let's represent it. We managed to identify every sound of the word. So let's represent it. We've seen in that lesson that sa is represented this way. And then we find schwa or sa, and then ra. See, surround. The diphthong ow, na, and da. So this is the phonetic transcription or representation of the word surround. So something interesting about this is that when you go to the dictionary, you will find the word written this way. So if you find these things on the dictionary, don't be scared. They're just telling you how to pronounce that word. So let's move on to the next word, which is approach. Approach. So let's start with the slash. First, approach. Approach. What is the first sound that we can identify? Of course, the schwa vowel. What's next? Approach. Ha. What's next? Ra. And then O. Approach. Approach. Remember the ch sound. Approach. So this is how we represent the word approach. You see what I've mentioned about not having a direct match on what is how we represent it phonetically and how the word is written. Because here we're dealing with letters, but here we're dealing with sounds. So this is why they are very different from how they're written. And this is what makes phonetic transcription even more interesting. So now, lately, we start with la, and then lately we have the diphthong a. Lately, ta, and then la again, and the short e. Lately, lately. Moving on, we find the word turtle, turtle. So let's start transcribing. First the slash, and then the first sound that we find is ta, turtle. So what comes next? The sound, the long turtle. And something interesting that you may not know about pronunciation, English pronunciation, is that when a ra sound comes after a vowel sound, it becomes mute. So we don't pronounce ra. So here in the phonetic transcription, we don't either have the ra sound. We won't have the ra sound. So it's turtle, the long e. Remember to place this. And then ta, schwa, and la. Turtle. This is how we pronounce the word. That's written this way. So this is the phonetic transcription. We pronounce it as turtle, turtle. Fine. Moving on, let's go for the word love, love. What's the first thing that we find? La. And then what sound comes next? Ah. This short ah. And then v. Love. Love. Not love or love anything else. It's love. It's how we pronounce in English. Love. Let's go for crowd. This is a bit difficult, right? Crowd. The first sound that we find is ka. Crowd. And then we find ra. So what's next? What's the next sound that we can identify? It's the owl, crowd. Da at the end. Crowd. And finally the word load. This one has also got a diphthong. La. O sound. Da. Load. So if you go on a dictionary, you'll find these words represented, within slashes. So from now on, you will know that it's about how we pronounce them in English language. So having transcribed all of them, let's now recall how do we pronounce each one of them. First, surround. Next, approach. Next, lately. After that, turtle, turtle. And then laugh. Next, crowd. And finally, load. I now challenge you to transcribe the name of the country from which you are watching this video. Can you do that? Let me know in the comment section. So don't forget to subscribe, to like this video, share it with your friends and everyone that may that may need this information. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.